Duotones. Duotones. So what about duotones? In Photoshop, duotone, by the way, refers to monotones and tritones and quadtones, as well as duotones. And monotones are grayscale images printed with a single and non-black ink, and duotones, tritones, and quadtones and grayscale images printed with 2 and 3 and 4 inks. And in these images, by the way, colored inks rather than different shades of gray, and are used to reproduce tinted grays. And the tones increase, by the way, the tonal range of a grayscale image, and also a grayscale reproduction can display, by the way, up to 256 levels of gray, and a printing press can reproduce only about 50 levels of gray per ink. And for this reason, a grayscale image printed with only black ink can look significantly coarser than the same image printed with 2 and 3 or 4 inks each individual ink, reproducing up to 50 levels of gray. And sometimes, by the way, sometimes duotones are printed using a black ink and a gray ink, and the black for shadows and the gray for midtones and highlights. More frequently, duotones are printed, by the way, using a colored ink for the highlight color. This technique, by the way, produces an image with a slight tint and significantly increases the dynamic range of the image. And duotones are ideal for two-color print jobs with a spot color, such as a Bentone color used for accent. And because duotones use different color inks to reproduce different gray levels, and they are treated, by the way, in Photoshop as single channel 8-byte grayscale images, and in duotone mode you don't have, by the way, direct access to the individual image channels as in RGB or CMYK and lab modes. And instead you manipulate the channels through the curves in the duotone options dialog box. How to convert an image to duotones? How to convert an image to duotone? We have steps. Step number 1. To convert the image to grayscale by choosing image, then choose mode, then choose grayscale. And only 8-byte grayscale images can be converted to duotones. Step number 2. You should choose image, then choose mode, then choose duotone. And step number 3. In the duotone options dialog box, select preview to preview the image. Step number 4. For the type option, select monotone and duotone and tritone or quadtone. And step number 5. Click the color box to the solid square to open the color picker, and then click the color libraries button and select an ink book and color from the dialog box. Note here, please, and be careful to produce fully saturated colors. Specify inks in descending order, or darkest at the top, lightest at the bottom. Step number 6. You should click the curve box next to the color ink box and adjust the duotone curve for each ink color, by the way. Step number 7. You should set overprint colors if necessary. Then and finally, click OK. Step number 8. Click OK to execute. And after that, to apply a duotone effect to only part of an image. You should convert the duotone image to multi-channel mode, by the way. This converts, by the way, the duotone curves to spot channels, and you can then erase part of the spot channel for areas that you want printed as standard grayscale. So how to modify the duotone curve for a given ink? How to modify the duotone curve for a given ink? By the way, in a duotone image, each ink, by the way, has a separate curve that specifies how the color is distributed across the shadows and highlights. This curve, by the way, maps each grayscale value in the original image to a specific ink percentage. We have steps again here now. Step number 1. To preview any adjustments, you should select the preview options firstly in the duotones option dialog box. Step number 2. You should click the curve box next to the ink color box, and the default duotone curve. A straight diagonal line indicates that the grayscale values in the original image map to an equal percentage of ink, and as is setting 50%, mid-tone pixel is rendered with 50% tint of the ink, 100% shadow is rendered, by the way, in 100% color, and so on. Step number 3. Adjust the Duotone curve for each ink by dragging a point on the graph or by entering values for the different ink percentages. And in the curve graph, the horizontal axis, by the way, moves from highlights at the left to shadows, and at the right, ink density increases as you move up the vertical axis. And you can also specify up to 13 points on the curve. And by the way, when you specify two values along the curve, Photoshop, by the way, calculates intermediate values. As you adjust the curve, values are automatically entered in the percentage text boxes. And after that, the value you enter in the text box indicates the percentage of the ink color used to represent the grayscale value in the original image. For example, if you enter 70 in the 100% text box, a 70% tint, by the way, of the ink color is used to print the 100% shadows. Step number 4. You should click Save in the Duotone Curve dialog box to save curves created with this dialog box. Step number 5. You should click Load to load these curves or curves created in the Curves dialog box, and including curves created using the arbitrary map option. And you can also use the info panel to display ink percentage when you are working with Duotone images, and then set the readout mode to actual color to determine what ink percentage will be applied when the image is printed actually. These values, by the way, reflect any changes you have entered in the Duotone Curve dialog box. And how to specifying overprinting color. By the way, overprint colors are two unscreened ink printed on top of each other. For example, when you print a cyan ink over a yellow ink, the resulting overprinting color is green, by the way. And the order in which inks are printed, as well as variations in the inks and the paper, can significantly affect the final results, by the way. And to predict how colors will look when printed, you can use a printed sample of the overprinted inks and adjust your screen display accordingly. And keep in mind that this adjustment, by the way, affects only how the overprint colors appear on the screen, not when printed. And before adjusting these colors, make sure to calibrate your monitor. How to adjust the display of overprint colors. Adjust the display of overprint colors. We have steps. The first step number 1. You should choose image firstly, then choose mode, then select Duotone. Step number 2. Click overprint colors, then the overprint color dialog box shows how the combined inks will look when printed. Step number 3. You should click the color swatch of the ink combination that you want to adjust. Step number 4. You should select the desired color in the color picker and then click OK. Step number 5. Repeat steps 3 and 4 until you are satisfied with the ink combination, then click OK to execute. How to save and loading Duotone setting. How to save and loading Duotone setting. If you would like to save and load Duotone setting, what should you do? By the way, you can use the save button in the Duotone options dialog box to save a set of Duotone curves, inks and setting, and overprint colors. And also you can use the load button to load a set of Duotone curves and ink setting and overprint colors. And you can also then apply this setting to other grayscale images. And Photoshop includes, by the way, several sample sets of Duotone and tritone and quadtone curves. These sets, by the way, include some commonly used curves and colors. And you can use these sets, by the way, as starting points when you create your own combinations. How to view the individual colors of a Duotone image. How to view the individual colors of a Duotone image. By the way, because a Duotone are single channel images, your adjustments to individual printing inks are displayed as part of the final composite image, by the way. In some cases, you may want to view the individual printing plates and to see how the individual colors will separate when printed, as you can with CMYK images. We have steps. Step number 1. After specifying your ink colors, you should choose image firstly, then choose mode, then select multi-channel. and this image is converted actually to multi-channel mode, with each channel represented as a spot color channel, and the contents of each spot channel accurately reflect to the Duotone setting. But the on-screen composite preview may not be as accurate as the preview is in Duotone mode. Note and be careful please here now. If you make any changes to the image in multi-channel mode, you can't revert, by the way, revert to the original Duotone state unless you can access the Duotone state in the history panel, and to adjust the distribution of ink and view is the effect of the individual printing blades. Make the adjustments in the Duotone curves dialog box before converting to multi-channel mode. And step number 2. You should select the channel you want to examine in the channels panel. Step number 3. Choose edit, then choose undo multi-channel to revert to Duotone mode. Printing Duotones. What about printing Duotones? By the way, when creating Duotones, keep in mind that both the order in which the inks are printed and the screen angles you use have a significant effect on the final output. If needed, by the way, change the halftone screen angles on the printer's RIP. And by the way, don't have to convert Duotone images to CMYK to print separations, and simply choose separations from the profile pop-up menu in the color management section of the print dialog box. For setting printer options, converting to CMYK mode converts any custom colors to their CMYK equivalents. So what about exporting Duotone images to other applications? Exporting Duotone images to other applications. How to export Duotone images to other applications? By the way, to export a Duotone images to a page layout application, you must first save the image in EPS or PDF format. However, if the image contains spot channels, convert it to multi-channel mode and save it in DCS 2.0 format. And remember to name custom colors using the appropriate suffix so that the importing application can recognize them. Otherwise, the application may not print the colors correctly, or it may not print the image at all.